Welcome to the Concrete Genius Podcast. I'm your host, Sauce Mackenzie. Buffalo Bills fire Sean McDermott. I told y'all this was coming. At some point, somebody has to be the fall guy. I'm tired of the Josh Allen discourse, but somebody has to be the fall guy in this situation. And the fall guy ended up being Sean McDermott. If you follow the pod religiously, like a lot of y'all do, then y'all know I've been saying if the Buffalo Bills don't win this year, Sean McDermott will get fired. The weekend after the Buffalo Bills lose, obviously Sean McDermott is fired. You know what I mean? He tried to go out on his sword, talking about, I'm fighting for Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo ain't fighting for you, bro. They got you packed up immediately. And at some point, changes have to happen. It's similar to Tony Dungy in Tampa Bay, right? Tony Dungy was a phenomenal coach, but he couldn't get Tampa Bay over the hump. And at some point, the Tampa Bay organization, the Glazers, had to make a change. And that change led to Tampa Bay hiring John Gruden and successfully winning the Super Bowl. So hopefully for Buffalo fans, you can hire the right coach and you can transition your team and being the team they need to be. A lot of people were calling for the general manager to be fired, but if I'm not mistaken, the general manager is the guy that drafted Josh Allen, so I think he has a lot of leeway in the organization. He also drafted a lot of other players that's been pretty well, pretty talented for the organization. So I don't know if that was going to ever be a possibility. But what he did do was get Sean McDermott packed up immediately. And I knew it was coming. And in situations like this, when you have a phenomenal player, phenomenal talent, it's not like the NBA where you trade players and start over and then try to hope to be good again in 5 years. It's the NBA. When you get a generational quarterback and Josh Allen is universally viewed as such, then you have a short window to try to win with him, right? So Sean McDermott had to be the fall guy. He had to be the guy to take the blame for his team losing, even though 4 of those losses, in my opinion, were directly related to Josh Allen. But we're not going to blame Josh Allen. Y'all know that, man. Josh Allen is the white man's, stress blanket, comfort blanket. So they're not going to blame Josh Allen. He's a media fan favorite. He's everybody's fan favorite, so he's not going to get the blame. Now, the real question is, which direction do the Buffalo Bills go in? I'm hearing Brian Daboll could be a very interesting hire, and that makes sense. His familiarity with Josh Allen. He was his offensive coordinator. As he was developing, he became a better player, a quarterback under Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll had a short window of success with the New York Giants. Not sustainable, but he did have a short window. So my question is, Bills fans, who do you want to see to be the next coach of the Buffalo Bills? That's the interesting question. That's such a passionate fan base. Regardless of whether I disagree with or agree with them, I understand their passion for their football team. So my question to Bills fans is, who do you want to see as your next coach? Would you like to see Brian Daboll? Me, personally, I would like to either see them go off after, I can't think of his name, and don't blame me, either the offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams or the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, right? To me, those are 2 championship units. Those are the 2 most consistent units in pro football, the Rams offense, Seahawks defense. I wouldn't be in such a rush to hire Brian Daboll. I know the NFL is quick to find coaches' jobs after they get fired. It's like they hire the same coaches. NBA coaching hiring is similar to NBA dating practices. Like, they just pass around the same people, right? And it's like, it's very hard to get in the door. And then it's like, as soon as you get fired, it's like, well, who gonna hire him? Like, it's almost like the blame of a coach being a failure is never the fault of the coach the first time. Unless he's black, obviously, like Vance Joseph or something, then you never get a second chance. But the Brian Dabolls, Mike McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, man, you get fired, you get hired immediately. Now, I will, in fairness to white people, Joe Judge was so bad, white people didn't even want to hire him no more. He was atrocious. But I just want to know from Bills fans, would you like a retreat or would you like somebody new? Like, for me, I would love to interview the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. I would love to interview the offensive coordinator or even a passing game coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams and just get some young, innovative, fresh blood in the NFL instead of recycling the same coaches. So I'm curious to see where that goes. And if you're Kevin Stefanski, if you're John Harbaugh, do you regret taking these other 2 jobs so soon when it's only 32 jobs in the league, so you can't really pass one up? But I'm sure you would like to have had that Buffalo gig, especially if you're John Harbaugh, right? But, I mean, it is what it is. You can't rescind where you are. You just have to accept the decision you made and live with it. But it is ironic that you jump on a job and then the job with the franchise quarterback comes open and you here with Michael Penix or you here with Jackson Dart. It can get a little dicey. Let's talk Chicago Bears, man. What a season, what a game, right? I'm proud of Chicago Bears. I give them an A+ on their season. Nobody expected this. If you told Bears fans at the beginning of the year they would be one play from the NFC Championship, 100 out of 100 would have signed up for it. So I'm not going to bash Caleb Williams for the interception. I'm not going to bash Ben Johnson for the play calls. I'm not that type of fan or analyst, and I think that the Bears they made 2 years' worth of progress tonight. If the Bears would have got the 7th seed and lost and then did what they did this year, next year, Bears fans would still be happy, right? The fact that Bears, Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, to me, what they did made up for the Matt Eberflus debacle, right? Because they accelerated their growth so fast that they became a viable NFL power in just 1 year. And so next year, the Bears will be in conversations to be in contention for the Super Bowl, the NFC North, the NFC Championship. Now, I will tell Bears fans this. As someone old enough to remember, Dan Marino or certain playoff masterpieces from guys, it's not always easy to get back, right? And some years things fall in line and you got to capitalize. And that's how I felt a little bit about the playoffs this year. I felt like you could have got to the AFC Championship, even though I didn't particularly see them beating Seattle, but I felt like they had a puncher's chance. That's still a game you got to win, right? All greetings, all nice attributes aside about you overachieving, that's fine. But on the other hand, you still got to win that game. So I want to know how Bears fans feel. Are you satisfied? Are you happy? Are you more optimistic about the franchise? You have to be, especially at the amount of dysfunction you dealt with between Matt Nagy and Matt Eberflus and all those type of coaches. So I'm very excited to see the direction of the Bears. And what pieces do the Bears need? Do you go heavy defense now? Are you confident in the receiving core? Are you confident in running backs? Do you go maybe O-line, get a couple of stud linemen? I know a lot of money was spent on the offensive side this year, so what changes and what personnel would you like to see added, Bears fans, to make the Bears competent and continue the trajectory that they're on to possibly win an NFL championship? I'm very interested. But it's very important for Caleb Williams, and everybody knows I've been a big Caleb Williams advocate. Take this moment, come back hungrier, sharper, even more mentally violent than you've been the past year. Put yourself in a position where you don't even have to close games this late. Dominate games in the first quarter like you dominate in the fourth quarter. And I really think you can win a championship next year. It's going to be tough, but you can have a great 12-year run in Chicago because the city will embrace you. It's a sports town. It's a passionate sports town. The clutch moments you brought to Chicago, Caleb Williams, the collection of Bears fans I know are very proud of you. As a Bears fan myself, someone who grew up in Gary, Indiana, I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of the energy you brought to Bears Nation, to the people who support the team, to the city. And I always tell people the NFL is better when the Chicago Bears are good. So I'm very interested to see how that goes. And I'm very interested and invested in Caleb Williams' development and his hunger and his killer instinct, which can only continue to get better. And I just like to tell him, don't get comfortable. Don't allow the success you've attained to allow you to get comfortable. And then take it to the next tier. CJ Stroud, my man, Ken Folk. That was a bad game. You know what I'm saying? That was a bad game. And mentally, I could tell it affected you. I could tell you were frustrated by your level of play. I can tell you were rattled, right? But your coach believes in you. I was really inspired by DeMeco Ryans, by the way he handled that, right? By the way he got up there with his chest out, chin up, and he stood up for his player, right? To me, coaches like that are what makes sports amazing, right? They are the opposite, the antithesis of what I usually complain about with incompetent coaches. Just having a personal connection for your player in that moment, what it means for him to hear such positive encouragement. I think this will be the floor for CJ Stroud. I think this playoff situation, what he did yesterday, will only make him a better player, make him a tougher player, make him more of a mentally strong player, and allow him the growth to get better, right? You know, we always criticize players when they play horribly, right? But we never give room for growth if we don't like the quarterback. If the quarterback's not a media darling. Just like Josh Allen had a bad game. It was, oh, poor Josh. You got to feel horrible. CJ had a bad game. It's like, oh, CJ, you should be working at UPS. You see what I'm saying? And this is from black people. Like, the media, everything. Like, you see memes made for Josh Allen. Just like, oh, man, you got to feel bad for Josh Allen. CJ Stroud played bad. It's like, man, why is this man even in the NFL? Right? So I'm going to give you the same grace that they gave Josh. And I'm going to tell you that was atrocious yesterday, right? But what do you do with it? I've seen several Hall of Fame quarterbacks have atrocious games in the playoffs. I've seen John Elway have atrocious games. I've seen Ben Roethlisberger have atrocious games, right? So don't beat yourself up. Just come back stronger, come back mentally stronger, and thank God, CJ Stroud, that you were blessed to have a coach like DeMeco Ryans, right? Blessed to be a part of an organization like the Houston Texans that believes in you and is committed to your coach, committed to your team, and committed to the growth and getting better. And you can get better, right? It's never over until it's over. So I just want to tell you, man, like, yeah, that was awful. That was bad. It was tough to watch. But it's also a base point for you to say, I'm never going to feel like this again, right? And just don't let the media rattle you and do what you got to do. But it's make or break next year, CJ. I'm not going to lie to you. Especially with that defense. That defense is phenomenal. The defense is generational. One of the best 20-25 defenses I've ever seen. Defensive ends, the discipline of it, how hard they played, that secondary. It's special. Now, they broke yesterday, but after several turnovers, I mean, what can they do? And New England. I don't want to make this totally about CJ Stroud. The New England defense was special. Stephon Diggs was amazing. His catch was amazing. The guy Boutte, the one-handed catch was amazing. New England is just a physical, do-your-job football team. That's what I love about Mike Vrabel. I think Mike Vrabel is just a do-your-job guy. I'm going to trust you to be a man and do your job. And I think that's the key to success to the New England Patriots. And the New England Patriots have a chance to win the Super Bowl, right? Don't count them out. I haven't done my Super Bowl power rankings yet, but they have just as good a chance as the Rams and the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl. And they can beat either the Rams or the Seahawks just due to the physicality of their defense, right? And the physicality of the offense. They run hard. They play hard. This is going to be a key with New England. And remember this. The reason I say they a sleeper to win the Super Bowl is because we know Seattle has a great defense. We know Denver has a great defense, right? But New England has physical receivers, right? Stephon Diggs is the type of receiver you go to war with, right? Tough, physical experience, big catches, not scared to go over the middle. That type of receiver is not scared of the Seattle Seahawks. That type of receiver is not going to be scared of the Denver Broncos. So kudos to New England. Kudos to Mike Vrabel. You know, I think Mike Vrabel was the coach of the year, even though, because, I mean, what they win, like 4 games? You know, I already apologized to the New England Patriot fans because I was a little critical of the way they fired the black guy, but y'all made the right decision, obviously. One thing about me, I'm going to tell the truth. Firing Gerard Mayo and hiring Mike Vrabel when you had the opportunity was a brilliant decision, obviously, from where you are today. And I think the New England Patriots are back and will be back for a long time. I think they're in the midst of a 10 to 12-year run where they're constantly in the AFC Championship, Super Bowl, AFC Championship. It can get ugly. So that's why this Josh Allen window thing is kind of important, because it might be over for Buffalo with as good as New England is lined up to be for the next 10 or 12 years. I think the clock might have struck midnight on the Buffalo Bills. Just good old school football. So let me ask you this, right? NFL fans, do you miss Pat Mahomes in the playoffs? Do you miss Joe Burrow? Do you miss Lamar Jackson, right? We got Jarrett Stidham. We got Sam Darnold. We got Drake May. And then we got Matt Stafford, right? Out of those 3, the only MVP caliber, household name, stud kind of quarterback is Matt Stafford, right? Are these playoffs still as exciting? And this is not talking about the fan bases of those 4 teams, because obviously you're going to be happy you're in the playoffs if you're a Broncos or Seahawks or New England fan, right? But my question is, to the casual NFL fan whose team is eliminated, are the playoffs just as exciting without a Pat Mahomes, without a Joe Burrow, without Lamar Jackson, right? Even without those, even without somebody as charismatic as a Caleb Williams, as a Josh Allen, will we see star power affect the NFL like it has the NBA, right? Or is the NFL such a machine that it doesn't matter who plays quarterback? You know, Matthew McConaughey could play quarterback, it don't matter, right? They don't give a shit. The NFL is a immobile unit that's unstoppable. No matter what teams are in the Super Bowl, no matter what teams are in the playoffs, no matter what teams are playing. And that's the benefit of promoting the game as a product as opposed to promoting individual players. But I'm curious from fans. Do you think the NFL playoffs lack star power, or is that a thing, right? Or is it just, I just want to watch good football, let the best teams win? Because I'm curious, because parts of me like, damn, no Mahomes, even players who are charismatic, if you don't think they're super talented. Jalen Hurts brings a level of charisma and charm to the game. Pat Mahomes brings charisma and excitement to the game. Josh Allen brings excitement. Lamar Jackson brings excitement. You don't get that with a Jarrett Stidham. You don't get that with a Sam Darnold. You don't get that. Drake May got time, right? He can be a star. But right now, Drake May is just a guy. You know what I mean? So my question to NFL fans has this tarnished your level of excitement for the game, or are you still just as excited to see a different type of team go at it that's not just built around the QB, but actually built around the structure of the team, defense, special teams, physicality? And I want y'all to chime in and answer that for me. Now, Super Bowl, who prints the money? I'm going to take a flyer, and it may change. But right now, I can see the Rams. After that game last night, I feel like the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl, right? I just feel like the Rams have a gene. They have the advantage of losing a horrible game in Seattle the last time they played. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams are slightly above the New England wide receivers. You know what I mean? And I think Matt Stafford is by far the best quarterback left in the playoffs. I think Sean McVay is the best coach left in the playoffs, even though the Seattle coach is brilliant and Vrabel is brilliant, right? But if I had to put money on it right now, I could see the LA Rams winning the Super Bowl. I respect Seattle to the T. I think their defense is generational, but Matt Stafford in a get-back game where they lost on a fluky 2-point conversion versus Sam Darnold with the chance of the Super Bowl on the line, even if Seattle's at home, I'm taking the Rams. That's just my gut instincts. I believe in Sean McVay. I'm a big Sean McVay fan. Even though I was rooting for the Bears, I mean, it's the Rams, man. The Rams are a machine. And the intelligence of the Rams is just, it's quirky, it's exciting, and it's tough to deal with. And I don't see that third matchup is going to be a great chess match between McDonald and McVay. But I don't see Matt Stafford losing this game, unless the weather is just atrocious. But other than that, I can definitely see the Rams making it to the Super Bowl. Rams Patriots would be a great Super Bowl, in my opinion. Just intense storylines, competition, offense versus defense, physicality. You know, it would be a great Super Bowl. So that's what I'm looking forward to. If the Seahawks win, I'm not mad. Nobody wants to see the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl again. No offense, Denver, but we just being honest. Nobody wants to see Jared Stidham. Then nobody even want to see Bo Nix in the Super Bowl. We being honest, truly honest, outside of Colorado fans. No average casual NFL fan wants to see the Denver Broncos anymore on TV, period, right? So I would be comfortable saying outside of the Denver market, 95% of America is rooting against the Broncos because nobody wants to see it, right? Like New England is the franchise, it's storied. You got Drake May, you got Vrabel, you got Stephon Diggs. You know what I mean? You got that defense. Let's just get New England back in there and just keep it short and sweet. It was a good ride. We appreciate you, Denver, but it's time to go. Concrete Genius Pod. Last but not least, I want to talk Atlanta Falcons and Kevin Stefanski, right? Falcons fans are livid about Stefanski, right? And I want to say, Falcons fans, I agree with you, but just not solely because of the way he treated Shador, right? It's part of it, but it's just also part of the fact that he ran a shit show. Like, take Shador out the equation, right? Just thinking you can go win an NFL game with Dylan Gabriel, right? Or the fact that you playing chess match, you playing power games with a young quarterback. You playing power games with an organization. Your offense was 30th in the league. And you had some players, right? And your record the last 2 or 3 years was abysmal. You know how I spoke earlier about certain coaches getting multiple opportunities? Stefanski's an NFL name. He's grandfathered in, right? And who knows, this may work. But I can't see a situation, right, where a black coach is released after having such a horrible showing like the Browns have had and then get a job as pristine as Atlanta. And that's where relationships matter. That's where familiarity matters. That's where being comfortable with each other matters. And that's the advantages that society has sometimes some white coaches have. I'm not race baiting, not playing a race card, just being honest. Like, I hate that race card. I hate that race baiting shit from trolls on the internet and the same pair of jeans that just got folded up out the washer and the dryer. Like, I hate Hillbilly Bob telling me I'm playing a race card. Like, shut up talking to me, right? I'm just telling the truth. Like, a lot of times America is more compassionate to a white man losing his job or a white man having failures like Josh Allen because of familiarity, right? Familiarity breeds compassion, right? So, and when you unfamiliar, you have less compassion, right? So Kevin Stefanski failed, but he's able to fail forward because he has relationships. That's what matters. And Falcon fans have a right to be upset because they're very invested in the franchise. The franchise is on an amazing trajectory. I feel like with the right hire, they could have had a Chicago Bears-like leap next year. And I don't know if Stefanski is the guy to make that leap, right? I think he may bring some structure, but they were already structured. I just don't know what his bag is. You know what I mean? His bag used to be he was an offensive guy, but at some point, we got to turn to the younger guys and get them an opportunity. This is another opportunity I would have liked to see the Dolphins coach get. McDonald, I would have loved to see Tomlin, but he's not coaching this year. I would have loved to had seen the Rams passing game coordinator, I can't think of his name, Shellhouse. I would have loved to see him in Atlanta, but Falcons fans, you got what you got. Give them a chance. I mean, because the Falcons social media is sure trying to sell you on them. And who knows? You might have something. You might not. But gutsy hire by Matt Ryan. I would love to know the vision, understand the vision, and hear his reasonings for thinking Coach Stefanski is the guy to lead this franchise. But one thing about it, the choice is made. The toothpaste cannot go back in the tube. So Falcons fans, all that crying and whining, it is what it is. Accept it, and then pray that your season works out and you get something phenomenal. Hopefully you can get a Coach of the Year performance. You are in the second worst division in football. Well, basically the worst division in football. You in the AFC South. So you got an opportunity to win the division. Every year somebody different wins the division. And I mean, you are in a division with the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Carolina Panthers. So it's a win now division. So maybe that was the thought process. I'm just very interested to understand why. You know what I mean? I think most Falcons fans and black people alike, and just football fans initially, like, just felt it was such a cultural mismatch. It's so wrong culturally. Like, I know the NFL is a tight network of brotherhood and good old boys club, but it just felt like he was so off base culturally that it didn't fit. But it's Arthur Blank's team. It's Arthur Blank's money. Arthur Blank has been good to a lot of players and good to a lot of coaches. So if this is what they trust, if they like it, you got to love it until you don't love it no more, right? And see how it goes. And I also want people who are ragging on some of the Falcon fans that are upset. Everybody that's upset about this hire is not upset solely because of Shedeur Sanders. Some people just don't think Kevin Stefanski is the right guy. So let's compartmentalize and separate it all and understand that people have a right to voice their opinion about their team. Some of the people complaining about Atlanta fans complaining, I like to ask you, would you be happy if Kevin Stefanski was hired to coach your team? If the answer is no, then you should probably shut up and let these people voice their opinions. I just want to tell y'all Falcons fans, keep y'all head up, man. Y'all been through a lot worse shit than this, so y'all keep y'all head up, man. Things gonna get better. But I thought y'all was gonna go after y'all Ben Johnson. Y'all went after y'all Matt Eberflus. So we'll see how it goes. Concrete Genius Pod, man. Follow me on all socials. I appreciate y'all. This is good football commentary. I love y'all. Peace.